Have you ever thought if something as simple as a routine checkup could reveal a hidden risk to your brain? Or maybe you're curious if a test you've taken recently might be silently raising your chances of a stroke. As a neurologist, I've seen firsthand how one common test, blood pressure screening, can uncover red flags that many people overlook. Today, I'm diving deep into why this test matters, how it connects to stroke risk, and 10 practical, science-backed steps you can take to protect your brain starting right now. Why blood pressure screening is a wake-up call. You've probably had your blood pressure checked before, maybe at a doctor's office, a pharmacy kiosk, or even with a home monitor. It's that quick test where a cuff squeezes your arm and spits out two numbers, like 120/80. Sounds routine, right? But here's what I've learned after years of studying brain health. Even slightly elevated blood pressure, especially if it's consistently high or spikes at night, can quietly damage the delicate blood vessels in your brain. Over time, this damage can set the stage for a stroke, either by causing a vessel to burst, hemorrhagic stroke, or by blocking blood flow, ischemic stroke. Let's break it down. Your brain relies on a complex network of tiny blood vessels to deliver oxygen and nutrients. When your blood pressure is too high, it's like turning up the pressure in a garden hose. The walls of those vessels get stressed, stretched, and sometimes damaged. This can lead to small tears, inflammation, or even plaque buildup, all of which increase stroke risk. A 2023 study in the journal Stroke found that for every 10-point increase in systolic blood pressure, the top number, above 120 millimeters of mercury, stroke risk rises by about 20%. That means even if you're in the pre-hypertension range, say 130/85, you're already at higher risk than someone with ideal numbers. What shocked me most in my research is how quickly blood pressure can cause trouble. A single high reading, especially at night when your body should be resting, can trigger immediate changes in your brain's blood vessels. A 2024 study in the Journal of Hypertension showed that people with elevated nighttime blood pressure, measured during sleep with a 24-hour monitor, had a 30% higher risk of stroke within 5 years compared to those with normal nighttime readings. Why does nighttime matter? Normally, your blood pressure should dip by 10 to 20% while you sleep, giving your vessels a break. If it stays high, your brain is under constant strain, even when you're not aware of it. But here's the good news: you don't need to feel helpless. By understanding your blood pressure and making small, intentional changes, you can lower your stroke risk significantly. Below, I'm sharing 10 practical steps you can start today to keep your blood pressure in check and protect your brain. These are backed by science, easy to incorporate, and don't require expensive gadgets or medications. Let's dive into the first one. Number 10. Sip hibiscus tea daily. Let's start with something you might already have in your kitchen: hibiscus tea. Those vibrant red tea bags aren't just for a refreshing drink, they're packed with compounds that can help lower your blood pressure and protect your brain. Hibiscus contains anthocyanins, antioxidants that relax blood vessels, and other compounds that act like natural ACE inhibitors, similar to some blood pressure medications. When your blood vessels are more relaxed, blood flows more smoothly, reducing the pressure that can damage your brain's arteries. In a 2022 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, participants who drank 2 cups of hibiscus tea daily, made from about 1 tablespoon of dried hibiscus flowers, saw their systolic blood pressure drop by an average of 7.2 millimeters of mercury after 6 weeks. That's enough to move someone from the pre-hypertension range, 120/139/8089, closer to normal, below 120/80. Another study from 2021 in the Journal of Advanced Research found that hibiscus tea reduced diastolic blood pressure, the bottom number, by 5 millimeters of mercury and improved blood vessel elasticity, which is critical for preventing the kind of damage that leads to strokes. Here's how to make hibiscus tea part of your routine. Steep 1 tablespoon of dried hibiscus flowers, or 1 tea bag, in 8 ounces of hot water for 5 to 10 minutes. You can drink it hot or chilled over ice, and if you want a touch of sweetness, add a teaspoon of honey or a splash of lemon for flavor. Aim for 1 to 2 cups daily, ideally in the morning or early afternoon, as hibiscus has a mild diuretic effect that could disrupt sleep if taken too late. If you're on blood pressure medications, check with your doctor, as hibiscus can amplify their effects. Over 6 to 8 weeks, you might notice your home blood pressure readings trending lower, which means less stress on your brain's blood vessels. To make it sustainable, try experimenting with hibiscus blends. Some combine it with mint or ginger for extra flavor. You can also brew a larger batch and keep it in the fridge for up to 3 days. If you're worried about staining your teeth, sip through a straw. Consistency is key here, and the small effort of a daily cup can make a big difference in your stroke risk over time. Number 9. Add ground flaxseed to your meals. Next up is flaxseed, a tiny seed with massive benefits for your heart and brain. Flax seeds are rich in alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fat, along with fiber and lignans, which are plant compounds with antioxidant properties. These nutrients work together to reduce inflammation in your blood vessels, improve cholesterol levels, and lower blood pressure, all of which protect your brain from stroke-causing damage. A 2023 study in the journal Nutrients found that adding 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed daily to meals lowered systolic blood pressure by 10 millimeters of mercury in people with pre-hypertension after 12 weeks. The fiber in flaxseed slows digestion, which helps stabilize blood sugar and reduces insulin spikes that can indirectly raise blood pressure. The omega-3s, meanwhile, cool down inflammation, which is a major driver of arterial stiffness. A 2022 study in the Journal of Cardiovascular Pharmacology showed that ALA reduced inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, CRP, by 15%, making blood vessels more flexible and less prone to damage. Here's how to add flaxseed to your day. Grind 1 tablespoon of whole flax seeds fresh using a coffee grinder or blender, as whole seeds can pass through your system undigested. Sprinkle the ground seeds into your morning smoothie, oatmeal, yogurt, or even a salad. If you're not used to high-fiber foods, start with a teaspoon and work up to a tablespoon over a week to avoid bloating. Always drink plenty of water to help the fiber move through your system, and store whole seeds in the fridge to keep them fresh. Over 8 to 12 weeks, you might see your blood pressure readings improve, and you'll be giving your brain's blood vessels a much-needed break. For variety, try mixing flaxseed into baked goods like muffins or pancakes. Just keep portions small to avoid extra calories. You can also combine it with other brain-healthy ingredients, like berries or nuts, for a nutrient-packed meal. The key is consistency, as the benefits build over time, reducing the strain on your brain's delicate vascular network. Number 8. Take a 20-minute brisk walk. You don't need to hit the gym for hours to protect your brain, just step outside for a walk. Regular physical activity, even something as simple as a 20-minute brisk walk, can lower your blood pressure by improving how your heart pumps blood and making your blood vessels more flexible. Exercise also boosts nitric oxide production, a molecule that helps your arteries relax, ensuring smooth blood flow to your brain. A 2024 meta-analysis in the Journal of the American Heart Association reviewed over 60 studies and found that moderate aerobic exercise, like brisk walking for 20 to 30 minutes 5 days a week, reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 8 millimeters of mercury in people with elevated readings. This is enough to significantly cut stroke risk. Another study from 2023 in the journal Circulation showed that evening walks, especially after a heavy meal, lowered nighttime blood pressure by 6 millimeters of mercury, which is critical since high nighttime readings are strongly linked to stroke. Here's how to make walking work for you. Aim for a 20-minute brisk walk at a pace where you're breathing a bit harder but can still hold a conversation. If you're new to exercise, start with 10 minutes and gradually increase. Walk in a park, around your neighborhood, or even on a treadmill if weather's an issue. Listening to music, a podcast, or walking with a friend can make it more enjoyable. Try to fit it in most days of the week, ideally in the late afternoon or early evening to help with nighttime blood pressure. Over 4 to 6 weeks, you'll likely notice lower readings on your blood pressure monitor and feel more energized, both signs that your brain's blood flow is improving. If you have mobility issues, talk to your doctor about alternatives like seated exercises or swimming. The goal is to get your heart rate up gently and consistently, which will help protect your brain from the vessel damage that leads to strokes. Number 7. Cut sodium with spice swaps. Let's talk about salt. It's everywhere, from your morning toast to your evening soup. Sodium makes your body retain water, which increases the volume of blood in your vessels and drives up blood pressure. Over time, this extra pressure can weaken the walls of your brain's arteries, making them more susceptible to stroke-causing damage. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium daily, about 1 teaspoon of table salt, but most people are getting closer to 4,000 milligrams without realizing it. Swapping salt for herbs and spices is a game-changer. Spices like garlic powder, rosemary, thyme, or cumin not only add flavor but also contain compounds that actively lower blood pressure. Garlic, for instance, has allicin, which relaxes blood vessels and improves blood flow. A 2023 study in the journal Hypertension found that using 1 teaspoon of garlic powder daily in place of salt reduced systolic blood pressure by 6 millimeters of mercury after 8 weeks. Other spices, like turmeric or paprika, have anti-inflammatory properties that further protect your arteries. Here's how to do it. Start by checking labels on packaged foods. Think soups, sauces, chips, and even bread, which can be surprisingly high in sodium. When cooking, replace salt with 1 teaspoon of a spice blend per meal. A simple mix might be garlic powder, oregano, and a pinch of black pepper. If you can't go salt-free, try a potassium-based salt substitute, which helps balance sodium's effects. Over 6 to 8 weeks, cutting sodium can lower your blood pressure by 5 to 10 millimeters of mercury, directly reducing the stress on your brain's blood vessels. To make it fun, experiment with spice blends from different cuisines. Think Italian, Mexican, or Indian. Keep a small spice rack handy, and you'll find it easier to skip the salt shaker. If you eat out often, ask for low-sodium options or sauces on the side. Over time, your taste buds will adjust, and your brain will thank you for the reduced stroke risk. Number 6. Try beetroot juice. Beetroot juice might sound like a health trend, but it's backed by solid science for lowering blood pressure and protecting your brain. Beets are rich in nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a molecule that widens blood vessels and reduces blood pressure. This is especially important for your brain, where smooth blood flow prevents the kind of vessel damage that can lead to strokes. A 2023 study in the European Journal of Nutrition found that drinking 1 cup, 250 milliliters, of beetroot juice daily, equivalent to about 1 tablespoon of concentrated beetroot powder mixed in water, lowered systolic blood pressure by 8 millimeters of mercury in people with prehypertension after 4 weeks. The nitrates also improved endothelial function, meaning your blood vessels can expand and contract more effectively, reducing strain. Another study from 2022 in the Journal of Cerebral Blood Flow and Metabolism showed that beetroot juice increased blood flow to brain regions critical for memory and cognition, offering a double benefit for stroke prevention. Here's how to add beets to your routine. Mix 1 tablespoon of beetroot powder into 8 ounces of water or a smoothie daily, or drink a small glass of pure beetroot juice. If the earthy taste is too strong, blend it with apple juice or add a squeeze of lemon for balance. Sip through a straw to protect your teeth from staining, and start with half a dose if you're new to beets to avoid digestive upset. If you're on blood pressure medications or have kidney issues, beets are high in oxalates. Check with your doctor first. Over 4 to 6 weeks, you'll likely see lower blood pressure readings and feel more alert, signaling better blood flow to your brain. For variety, try adding beetroot powder to soups or salad dressings, or roast fresh beets as a side dish. The key is daily consistency to keep those nitrates working their magic on your blood vessels. Number 5. Practice deep breathing for 5 minutes. Did you know that something as simple as breathing can protect your brain from stroke? Chronic stress is a major driver of high blood pressure because it triggers your body's fight-or-flight response, releasing hormones like cortisol and adrenaline that constrict blood vessels. Over time, this keeps your blood pressure elevated, putting constant pressure on your brain's arteries and increasing stroke risk. Deep breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which calms your body and lowers blood pressure. A 2024 study in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension found that practicing 5 minutes of slow, deep breathing, 6 breaths per minute, twice daily reduced systolic blood pressure by 9 millimeters of mercury in people with mild hypertension after 6 weeks. It also lowered nighttime blood pressure by 7 millimeters of mercury, which is critical for reducing stroke risk since high nighttime readings are particularly dangerous. Here's how to do it. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, and close your eyes. Inhale through your nose for 5 seconds, letting your belly expand, then exhale slowly for 5 seconds. Repeat for 5 minutes, morning and evening. You can use a free app like Calm or Headspace to guide you, or just set a timer. If 5 seconds feels too long, start with 4-second inhales and exhales and build up. Over 4 to 6 weeks, you'll likely feel less stressed, and your blood pressure readings will reflect that calm, reducing the strain on your brain's blood vessels. To make it a habit, tie deep breathing to an existing routine, like after brushing your teeth or before bed. You can even do it while sitting at your desk or watching TV. It's free, takes minimal time, and can make a big difference in your stroke risk over time. Number 4. Enjoy a square of dark chocolate. Yes, you heard me right. Dark chocolate can be a brain-protecting treat. The magic lies in cocoa's flavonols, which boost nitric oxide production, relax blood vessels, and lower blood pressure. They also reduce inflammation and improve blood flow to your brain, which is critical for preventing the arterial damage that leads to strokes. A 2024 study in the journal Nutrients found that eating 1 tablespoon, about 10 grams, of dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa daily lowered systolic blood pressure by 5 millimeters of mercury in people with elevated readings after 8 weeks. The flavonols also improved vascular elasticity, meaning your arteries can handle changes in blood flow without getting damaged. Another study from 2023 in the Journal of Neurology showed that cocoa flavonols enhanced cerebral blood flow, supporting brain function and reducing stroke risk. Here's how to add it. Choose dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa and minimal added sugar. Break off a small square, about 1 tablespoon's worth, and savor it daily, ideally after a meal to avoid blood sugar spikes. Pair it with a handful of almonds or walnuts for extra heart-healthy fats. Don't overdo it. Calories add up fast, and excess weight can raise blood pressure. Over 6 to 8 weeks, this small treat can help lower your blood pressure and improve blood flow to your brain, making it a delicious way to cut stroke risk. For variety, try cocoa powder in smoothies or oatmeal. Just make sure it's unsweetened and non-alkalized to preserve the flavonols. Keep your portions small, and you'll be treating your brain to a daily dose of protection. Number 3. Boost potassium with bananas. Potassium is like a natural counterbalance to sodium, helping your body flush out excess water and relax blood vessel walls. Most of us don't get enough potassium, which can lead to an imbalance that drives up blood pressure and stresses your brain's arteries. Bananas are an easy, affordable way to boost your potassium intake. One medium banana has about 400 milligrams, roughly 10% of the daily recommended 4,700 milligrams. A 2023 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that increasing potassium intake by 1,000 milligrams daily, about 2 bananas, lowered systolic blood pressure by 6 millimeters of mercury in people with mild hypertension after 12 weeks. Potassium also helps regulate your heartbeat, reducing strain on your cardiovascular system and protecting your brain from stroke-causing damage. Another study from 2022 in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology showed that higher potassium intake was linked to a 15% lower stroke risk over 10 years. Here's how to add bananas. Eat 1 medium banana daily as a snack, blend it into a smoothie, or slice it onto oatmeal or yogurt. If bananas aren't your favorite, try other potassium-rich foods like avocados, sweet potatoes, or spinach. If you have kidney issues, check with your doctor before increasing potassium, as too much can be harmful. Over 6 to 8 weeks, you'll likely see steadier blood pressure readings and feel more energized, both signs that your brain's blood vessels are under less stress. To keep things interesting, try freezing banana slices for a creamy smoothie base or pairing them with a sprinkle of cinnamon for added blood pressure benefits. The key is to make potassium a daily habit to support your brain's health. Number 2. Prioritize quality sleep. Sleep is one of the most powerful tools for protecting your brain, yet so many of us skimp on it. Poor sleep, less than 6 hours a night or frequent waking, disrupts your body's ability to regulate blood pressure, especially at night when it should naturally dip. Chronic sleep deprivation raises stress hormones like cortisol, which keep blood vessels constricted and blood pressure elevated, increasing the risk of stroke. A 2024 study in the journal Sleep found that adults who consistently got 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep had a 25% lower risk of stroke over 10 years compared to those getting less than 6 hours. Better sleep also lowered nighttime blood pressure by an average of 7 millimeters of mercury, directly reducing strain on brain arteries. Another study from 2023 in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine showed that improving sleep quality reduced daytime blood pressure by 5 millimeters of mercury, even in people with normal readings. Here's how to improve your sleep. Aim for 7 to 8 hours nightly and stick to a consistent bedtime, even on weekends. Avoid screens an hour before bed to boost melatonin production, and keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Try a 5-minute deep breathing routine, like we discussed earlier, to wind down. If you snore loudly or feel tired despite sleeping, talk to your doctor about sleep apnea, which can spike blood pressure. Over 4 to 6 weeks of better sleep, you'll likely notice lower blood pressure readings and more energy, both signs that your brain is better protected from stroke risk. To make it easier, create a bedtime ritual, like reading a book or sipping chamomile tea, to signal your body it's time to rest. Avoid caffeine after noon, as it can linger and disrupt sleep. Prioritizing sleep is like giving your brain a nightly reset, keeping those blood vessels healthy. Number 1. Load up on leafy greens. Topping the list is something you've probably heard before, but it's worth repeating. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, arugula, and Swiss chard are superstars for brain health. They're packed with nitrates, like beetroot, potassium, magnesium, and antioxidants, all of which work together to lower blood pressure, reduce inflammation, and protect your brain's blood vessels from stroke-causing damage. A 2023 study in the British Journal of Nutrition found that eating 1 cup of leafy greens daily, equivalent to about 1 tablespoon of freeze-dried greens powder, lowered systolic blood pressure by 8 millimeters of mercury in people with elevated readings after 8 weeks. The nitrates improved blood vessel function, while potassium and magnesium helped balance sodium and relax arteries. Another study from 2022 in the Journal of Cerebral Blood Flow and Metabolism showed that leafy greens increased blood flow to key brain regions, supporting cognition and reducing stroke risk. Here's how to get started. Add 1 cup of leafy greens to your lunch or dinner, whether in a salad, smoothie, or sautéed as a side dish. If you're short on time, mix 1 tablespoon of greens powder into water or a smoothie. Pair with a healthy fat like olive oil or avocado to boost nutrient absorption. Over 6 to 8 weeks, your blood pressure should trend lower, and you'll be giving your brain a steady supply of protective nutrients. For variety, try different greens, kale one day, spinach the next, or mix them into soups, omelets, or pasta dishes. If you're not a fan of the taste, blend greens into a fruit smoothie to mask the flavor. The key is daily consistency to keep those blood vessels flexible and your stroke risk low. Your brain is your body's command center, and keeping your blood pressure in check is one of the best ways to protect it from stroke. These 10 steps, hibiscus tea, flaxseed, brisk walking, cutting sodium, beetroot juice, deep breathing, dark chocolate, bananas, better sleep, and leafy greens, are simple, affordable, and backed by science. Start with 1 or 2 that feel manageable, and build from there. Over time, your blood pressure will stabilize, and you'll be taking real steps to keep your brain safe from stroke. Thanks for watching, and drop a comment below to let me know which tip you're trying first.